The Dead Pair Podcast is brought to you by the Elite Experience, Elite Shotguns, and is fueled by Fiocchi.
Paul?
Welcome to the Dead Pair Podcast, coming in hot with everything you want to hear about sporting clays.
Guy Fieri.
How are you, gentlemen? Thanks for having me.
Anthony Matarese Jr., how you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty well.
Welcome back, David Radulovich.
That's a net positive. Brad Kidd.
Corey Cruz. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Now I feel awkward.
With your hosts, Jason Rambo
One more Red Bull for you.
and Sean Alley.
Woo, yeah!
Christmas.
Let's do it!
Often imitated but never duplicated. It's the Dead Pair Podcast. And now, it's showtime.
What's up, Mr. Alley?
Well, this is going to be a new one. You're in Florida. I'm still in Ohio. And then we're going to get some...
And the whole thing's on video, so you can't screw up. So.
I know, right? Yeah, I gotta be good. I gotta mind my P's and Q's here. So,
right?
how's the Florida thing treating you down there, buddy?
Oh, awesome. Finally got down here to see the family, and it's been great. I did, however, get a phone call today from Mr. Brian Palmer, and apparently he is sending Mr. Bruce Potter to pick me up, and I am getting roped into shooting FITAS this weekend at Vero. So,
woohoo!
Yeah, we're on. So,
nice.
No rest for the wicked, right? So,
Gotcha. Well, you're missing some of the fall transition here. It's starting to cool down in the evenings. Temperatures aren't so hot. I'm sure it's still pretty warm down there where you're at.
Yeah, it is. But I'll be home here in a couple weeks, so we'll bang it up right before we go to nationals, I'm sure.
Gotcha.
Hey, I believe we got a tourney talk to get to.
We do. Let's get on it.
It's Tourney Talk. Brought to you by Score Chaser.
All right, we got two updates for you guys. Oklahoma State at Shawnee Skies open today. The shoot will start June 20th through the 23rd, and that is for 2024. Also, the 2024 Montana Western Challenge at Gallatin Sporting Clays is now open. That shoot runs from August 22nd through the 25th. Again, that is 2024.
Awesome. So, hey, you just shot a tournament this weekend, didn't you?
I will be shooting this weekend. Yes.
Oh, you're going to shoot this weekend.
That's right. Shooting one up at Airport Ridge.
Yeah, that's going to be cool. I don't know. I don't think that new course is going to be incorporated just yet into that. But I was there and saw they opened up quite a bit of land. Really cool, man. They're going to have 3 courses. 2 of the courses will have 3 traps per station. One of them will have 4 traps per station. And they're adding a 4th course plus 2 parkour layouts. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited. They've got so much potential with all the land and the space they have up there to work with. I'm really, really excited. Most other shooters are too for what's coming.
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be a wacky one tonight, folks. We are being invaded or taken over by none other than Mr. Brad Kidd, and he wants to interview Ben Husthwaite. So hang on to your pantyhose. This is sure to get interesting tonight.
This is going to go all kinds of sideways. I can already see it.
And like I said, this whole thing is going to be on video, the whole entire thing. So if you're listening to this, that's fine. We're still going to have obviously it's going to be on the audio podcast if you're hearing this now. But do yourself a favor. Get over to our YouTube channel. Check it out. Watch it. You're going to get to see all 4 of our ugly mugs in one place. It's all going to be on video. No screw-ups. And, God, please don't let these 2 guys embarrass us too bad.
Go off the rails too bad.
Yeah, exactly. But it ought to be interesting for sure. This is going to be new for us. We've never done anything like this. Brad approached us about it. It was his idea, and we're kind of like giving him the floor, if you will. So,
yeah,
Sean, I don't know about you, man, but I hope you got something alcoholic on hand because it's going to be interesting tonight for sure.
Pins and needles, man. Pins and needles.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, hey, let's get them on here. We'll ask them to join us. And again, folks, hide the women and children. So. The Dead Pair. All right. So I hope all the women and children are put away. Welcome to the show, Mr. Ben Husthwaite and Brad Kidd. What's up, fellas?
Hey, man, what's going on? What's up is Ben was being rude because I was late, and everybody's kind of making me feel a little bit awkward about that. And that's what's been going on. So now we're rolling. And
let's just clear one thing up. That wasn't rude.
So
could have been gentler with me about it. No, it's
Yeah.
good to be with you, gentlemen, man. Ben, I miss you. I spent a lot of time together with you a couple months ago in Europe. It's good to be with you again.
Yeah, man, it's been a long time. It's always good to have you in the vehicle.
Yeah, I thought about it a lot. You know, getting to know, when we first met, remember maybe seeing you in San Antonio in the mid to early 90s. And
yeah, 95.
I doubted you remembered me then, but I thought maybe 98 we were in England. I won the Junior World. I think
West
that's
London.
when you noticed me probably.
Yeah, West London in the shoot-off.
Yeah. And we spoke then. We weren't friends really. I was like 16 and you were 20. So, there was an age gap there, but come on. You love me and I love you. Everybody know that.
Well, Brad, you're down at the South Central there at Covey Rise. How's that going for you?
I tell you what, I came into this shoot you never know what to expect when a club's not done a big one. And this club hasn't done a big one. Now, I lived in Louisiana for a long time, and I've shot there, and it is an amazing piece of property, 600 acres, beautiful rolling hills, unbelievable, clubhouse with pavilion, and there's houses all over the place. You can buy a lot and build a house there. Lots of oil field, big charity shoots there. It's a farm. Everything they serve in their restaurant, they grow on property. They sell to many restaurants in the area. So it's an amazing place. And they brought in, when I got there, it was warm feelings. You saw good staff, people that had been running shoots. So they hired all the right people. The targets have been wicked hard. You feel like you're back in Budapest. And I want to get into this with Ben. I'm shooting better than I've ever shot in my life, but I'm not very serious. And, Ben kind of gave me a little bit of I won't say a tongue lashing, but a talking to about that. Like you just, when you're not going to win anything until you become a serious person. So that's where I'm at. I'm dabbling in a lot of different businesses, all surrounding the sporting clays game. This is, again, I don't have clients at this shoot. So I've had the opportunity. I've played mostly serious this week. So I just, lose some seriousness, a couple stands around, and that's all it takes. I'm shooting 93s and those kind of scores, and I'm guessing it'll be 95s and 6s to win it. But I'm shooting great. I'm in a great place. Ben helped me a lot when I was in Europe, so I look forward to getting into that with some of the specifics of what he did to help dial my game up. But the range is awesome. The targets are awesome. The shoot's fantastic. Fall season's on us. We got nationals. We got Diamond Classic next week. National championship coming up after that. What a great game. What a great time in our game for American shooters.
Well, Ben, you took a scary spill there. We're glad you're feeling better. Tell us what's going on with you.
And it's just busy, It's that fine balance between being super busy with instruction and holding up, your own competitive force. So when you go to a shoot, you're going to be competitive. So it's just really figuring out that balance now where, the want for my services worldwide has got so big that I'm in so many different countries all the time that it's trying to balance that practice life too, which has been non-existent this year. So I'm more looking forward to next year and balancing the two much better than I am already. Obviously, there'll be two kids involved in trying to keep up with Brad on the children front. He just got a bit of a head start on me.
Good luck catching up. It ain't happening. You better get going. You better have some twins, brother.
No, so it's good. It's good. I'm happy. My shooting's in a great place. Probably the most consistent it's been ever.
I'll attest to that, Ben. I couldn't believe the way you looked when we were practicing together, regardless of who won the world championship we were at. You were in the top 5, but you looked so sound in practice. It was wildly impressive. It's helped me. Seeing you do that has helped me. I can see how well it can be done. I can do it better than I'm doing it. So, yeah, it's obvious how well you're doing.
Yeah, no, it's been a good year. I'm happy and I'm looking forward to getting better.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm at. I don't think I'm anywhere near my best yet. So I'm looking forward to finding out how good I can be.
Are you able to do that with the tight coaching schedule you're running, Ben?
Yeah, because I've worked a lot with Brad in the past, and the way I teach doesn't have, I taught up to the day before the World FITAS. I taught up until the day before the Eurocash because
I tend to agree with you a little bit. I at least don't make the excuse, I'm coaching a lot, I can't shoot good. Why is talking about my philosophy 10 hours a day going to make me not do it well? So yeah. I just disagree with that statement. I think you do need rest and whatnot, but man, I'm just spouting good ideas. If you're spouting good ideas, how's that not going to help you? If your
Yeah,
coaching's poor and you're spouting bad ideas, you're probably going to
yeah, or if you
Kinda,
don't
I
understand
see it
what you're
that way.
saying, if you're trying to teach a certain way that you can't emulate yourself, you're going to get in your own way.
Yeah.
But I'm never going to make a student do something I'm not willing to do myself at a major championship. So, like you say, if I'm telling him to make good moves, why on earth is that going to make me make bad ones?
That doesn't make any sense to me.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And part of that, I think, even if it did, don't empower the excuse. Not if you want to be a champion. That's a big difference. People empower excuses all day long, every conversation around the table, students, all of it. You're killing yourselves. Like, worry's in the way. Quit empowering excuse. Be honest. Face it. Like, you don't move the gun good enough. You need to learn how to. All right? Be relaxed.
If giving a lot of lessons affects your shooting, give less lessons.
Or quit shooting.
It's a plus and minus situation. Do more of one and less of the other, or less of one and more of the other, whichever way you want to do it.
What good is if I'd have practiced more? If doesn't mean anything.
If my auntie had balls, she'd be my uncle.
I say let's get into it. We're running an hour here. What are we, 10 minutes in or so? My goal in this, I asked Jason if we could do this. My goal was, what can we deliver to really try to make shooters better? It's hard to go online and watch videos and decipher. There's tons of athletes out there with videos. There's people who are good shots with videos out there. There's people who aren't good shots with videos out there. Articles in every magazine. There's books. How do I go through all this information and actually have something that makes me better? And I'll talk about myself a little bit. I don't do it. I like the one-on-one. So looking down and saying, can I write a book that can make a shooter better? Well, maybe. It's a big commitment. It's a lot of time and effort. I'd rather just be out there with somebody. And I think part of it, too, guys like Ben, Anthony Matarese have done it really, really well. So what am I going to do? Go restate a bunch of things that they've already stated. So I haven't gone into the online game or the subscribe channel stuff. Ben he's very good at it. I've been through his videos. They're incredible. So I want to talk about that a little bit, hopefully we can direct people to good places, good sources of information, and maybe talk about a couple things on here that could be valuable to your shooting.
I'm all ears.
I'll start with one thing, and it is a audio show, but we're videoing this one, so we've got a visual. One thing that you really taught me was lining those knuckles up. Not having one knuckle holding the gun high here and that being on the bottom gun here, but actually looking at the line of that gun and realizing that your two index fingers, your left out in front of your right, they want to line up. My handles on the gun, Ben, are incredible. The recoil's gone down. I'm shooting an ounce and an eighth shell now. It feels like a pop gun. I can control and move the gun in a way I've never been able to. And I was kind of on that path, but I didn't. That little tip right there. So I'm one of those guys, explore probably more than anybody. I'm always like, how am I going to hold this thing so everything's all perfect? And there's a very specific front hand grip. For me, I worked it this way, but I saw George Digweed's, and mine is very much like his now, where I let a little, creep out of my hand. You kind of feel like you're pointing with this finger, and the backhand is where Ben told me to get it, and that was big. So I think that's something I brought that up because I think you ought to do a video on your subscribe page talking about that if you haven't already.
Yeah. No, it's look, a lot of people think they understand gun fit and recoil, but it comes down to more of understanding the body mechanics and actually how things move, and understanding where your body is in its strongest position. If you were going to pull something, you wouldn't put one hand above the other. You'd be pulling in a straight line.
Yeah, everything be lined up. That's your power position. That's where you've got,
exactly. And it's just
now I'm catching off the recoil with those two hands in line. The gun doesn't touch me.
No, if we're trying to go through the bottom of one hand and the top of another, we're going to feel that recoil. That there's a reason an axe handle's straight.
Yeah, no, 100%. Let me jump in here because I've been all through the Northeast last couple months doing lots of coaching, and I've heard, you got to move your hips. You got to get your body. You got to this, and this. And I go, okay, that's all well and good. I hear you guys, but I don't know what you're talking about. I'm shooting my hands. So I don't hear a lot of people talk about this, but I really focus on the front hand. The gun's like a pen in my hand, and I do that bead with my front hand all the way through the shot, and I pull that trigger, and it doesn't stop my front hand. I'm 100% precise and in control, and finishing that shot, pulling the trigger through the recoil. Like the recoil and trigger pull didn't change my ability to be unbelievably precise to the shot. I focus on that a lot. So I focus on the front hand. Now, balance-wise, I've got to be perfect. If I stay perfect balance, I've been more focused and hyper-aware of that than ever. I'm able to control my body and move my hands in a super precise way. The back hand's kind of off the bottom of the gun, a little bit out of the picture, just there for the trigger. Ben, what do you think about that? I've been hearing a lot of stuff about body movement, but I say, yes, we move our body with the target where body follows the target. But I want to talk about our hands. I want to talk about how the softness is supposed to be, how the front hand control and don't grab with the back and don't pull so hard and don't fight so hard. What are your thoughts, Ben?
I think, unfortunately, we've got so many so-called instructors all chasing the same audience. So they come up with these ridiculous nonsense statements, more of a USP, unique sales point, rather than it having absolutely any relevance to shooting whatsoever.
That makes sense because it felt like it kind of had caught on. I was in Maine, Maryland, Chicago, Tennessee. I was in lots of places teaching, and everybody was talking about the same thing. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, yes, you're not wrong, but like, there's more to hitting the target. What every time you miss,
95%
is that what really happened? You didn't move your body the same when you missed. That was the miss. So, anyway,
but I hear it a lot. Like you got to move from your hips. I was with a real good friend of mine called Andras Varga last week. He's probably the second or third best shooter in Hungary. He helped set the targets in Budapest. And he traveled all the way to Dornsburg to work with me last week. And he brought some of his students along. And he said, like, I get my students to turn from the hips. And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, me neither. I don't get it.
95% of shooters do not know where their hips are. You ask them to move things they've never seen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So everything's got to come from the part that holds the gun.
Yeah, it's hands. Like if you're in a fight, if you're trying to be precise, like hands and eyes, that's what we're playing here. It's control the gun with your hands, see the bird. Yes, control your body and rotate, of course. But you listen to golfers. Your stance and body control, that's huge in a golfer. I heard Tiger Woods talk about his hands. My hands. That's all it is. It's all, the whole game's in his hands. I feel the same way. The whole game's in my hands. One thing I always remembered, like 10, 15 years ago, you posted this thing on Instagram, and it was like a general or something looking out of a tank over a battlefield, and he said, yeah, confirmed, no one's winning with maintained lead. And you and I read a post you did where you described how you shot every bird on a course. I don't remember what course it was, but maintained lead didn't appear one time. And you're not against maintain lead, but what's wrong with maintain lead, Ben? Why can't you win with maintain lead?
Well, if I spin that round, what's right with it? So if I look at, in my opinion, and everything, like I say, everything I'm about to tell you guys is my opinion. Not that I'm opinionated or arrogant at all. Yeah. If what three things do we need to know about a target to break a target? So in my opinion, those three things would be speed, line, and lead. Right? We're not going to break targets without knowing from those three things. So if we work our way through the methods, does swing through give me the speed of the bird? No, because I'm always moving faster than it. Does swing through give me the line of the bird? Yes, because I'm going to swing through the line. Lead's easy. None of them give me the lead. So I've got swing through that gives me one of the three things I need. Then I've got maintain lead. Does maintain lead give me the speed of the bird? Absolutely not. I've got to guess that I get it right by hanging out in front of it. Does it give me the line? No. I've got to guess that right by hanging out in front of it. Does it give me the lead? No. So maintain lead gives me none of the three things I need. And so you can feel the speed, Ben. You can feel the speed from behind the bird or with the bird, but not in front of the bird? No, that's what I said. I don't get the speed from behind the bird either.
Okay. Yeah, sorry.
So then with pull away, do I get the speed of it? 100% because I'm pointing at it. Do I get the line of it? 100% because I'm pointing at it. So the three things I need, there's one method that gives me 2, there's one method that gives me 1, and there's one method that gives me none. So if you look at that in increments of thirds, every time I go down a method, I've got another third chance of getting something wrong. So does that mean maintain lead does not have a place in the sport? Of course it doesn't. We need it. You need it a lot. But will it ever be my primary go-to? Absolutely not.
It makes more sense. I was kind of surprised when we shot together how much you suggested, because I'm good at maintain lead in a lot of situations, how much you suggested I stick with it. So, but no, that's a great answer. I spent, when we got together this time, you talked a lot of technical ideas to me. You need to swing through more. You need to pull away more. And a few other things, getting the gun mounted, getting the gun still, that helped. And I actually kind of abandoned a lot of it in some ways, because as soon as I start thinking a new technique that I haven't had a chance to practice yet, I don't make a good shot. I'm not I'm not making the good. I'm tied to this move, not just getting the job done. So one thing you talked about that really stuck out is just the specifics of line and lead and knowing where you want the gun at the end. That has helped me a lot, and I've gotten better at that. And like I mentioned before, I've gotten better at balance and hands and physical. And now I'm starting to notice where a shot slips from me every now and again is where I should have come from behind that bird more. I was too much with that bird, that kind of stuff. So it's starting to make sense. I know I'll have to make that adjustment technically. So that I found that, Ben, you're a high level in the game in the suggestion of what you should do technically, understanding that. And I thought that was a very good description. But mentally also, you talked to me about not being serious. I kind of mentioned that I'm not being serious this week. That's why I came here. I came to our friend's house. I'm an hour and a half away. I'm going to take tomorrow off. I'm going to try to come back Saturday serious. Can we talk about that a little bit?
I don't think there's anything wrong with ever being beat. Being beat in any sport is part of sport. But one thing I can't accept is being outworked, So if I'm outworked or I give up on something, and by being serious, I don't mean walking around, with a stern look on your face, ignoring people. What I mean is I've ticked all my boxes.
Discipline and detail in the box every time. I'm there 90%, not 100%. That's what I mean when I say I'm not playing serious enough. I'm not disciplined and detailed enough.
10 years ago, 20 years ago, I could go into a nightclub till 7 a.m, bowl out, hoping I don't get run over, and win a world championship.
Mm-hmm.
The level's too high now.
Yeah, it's a different game.
It's a completely different game. And I mean, me and you had this conversation. Mine and George's history is well documented, but I believe Hungary was his greatest ever win.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. I agree. You could have kind of said, okay, sort of got away with one in America. All the Americans didn't really do a great number. George wins, but then he backs it up, with that. One of his.
He beat the best of the best.
Yeah, one of his greatest wins for sure.
There was nobody missing. There was, this was I believe his best ever performance ever.
Yeah, agree. 100% agree.
He wasn't there. She didn't turn up. He had a bad day. We were there, and we all had the same opportunities. And he to me, that's his greatest ever win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's something else. 4 decades of world championships, and late 50s, and to see the last 3 out of the last 4 world championships won by somebody in their upper 50s. The longevity of our sport is pretty incredible. And me at 41, it gives me a lot of excitement for going forward.
But let's keep going on that then. Let's look more into detail then. Yeah. What happens when you get later into your 50s? Your responsibilities go down. Kids move out. Mortgages are paid off. And all of a sudden, you're a relaxed athlete.
But I also think it's a testament to how our game is more knowledge-based than skill-based, in the sense that if you understand it, you can do it. It's not bigger, stronger, faster. Don't get me wrong. Reflexes and eyes and those things are great. But at the end of the day, the veteran experience is going to shine through.
100%.
Yeah, it's a neat thing about our game. All right, so in the spirit of transpiring some more knowledge to the game, back on our history, Ben, you suggested to me in 2009 to start running a mental routine, I won the nationals in 2010. We spent some time again later. I had a great result at the World Feed Task and got silver medal. And then here lately, I felt like you put me on a good path to, maybe doing well this fall season. So I thank you for that. But talk to us a little bit about your subscribe page. What can we do? How can we get better? We can't go see you. That's why I gravitate your subscribe page a little bit. I'm close and best friends with Zach Conbaum and Anthony Matarese and Gavin Miles and David Radulovich, and I see all these guys every week. So I already know what they think. I don't get to see you and talk to you much, so it's good to see your page. Tell us a little bit about what do you think are some of the ways you could help somebody remotely where, maybe you can't get it done in the field, but you can make their form better, their ideas better, their technique better.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of what I do is mental based. A lot of it's, I do a lot of work with the Emiratis and working with their mental routine for the Olympic skeet and the Olympic trap teams as well. So that's something that's very, very done. That's easily done remotely.
Let me cut in. We were practicing before the World Feed Task, and Ben took a call from somebody getting ready to set a record in the World Cup. And I kind of eavesdropped, and what you said in was magic. And I sat there and I was like, man, I got to bring this in. And it was, you're really, really, really good at that. And I can't really recreate it. You just put him in that mindset of, relax, run your play, be serious, get your mind off
like this. I think the more you do it,
he was scared and nervous and he lost himself, and you got him right back online. I don't know how the result ended, but the conversation was impressive.
He had a personal best before that of 113, and he finished with a 119. He was over the moon. And but I do think it's one of those things where the more you do that, the better you become at it.
Yeah.
The more time you can actually do that without physically seeing that person. You've got to have I think a remote lesson can be good. A remote lesson with somebody that you've already had personal one-on-one time with is even better.
So you prefer doing a lesson over the phone, or that's even more powerful than just simply looking at your subscribe page?
Yeah, 100%. What I'm trying to do with that subscribe page is reach. What I didn't want to do is become an elitist coach that's not reachable by the masses. So if you can't get to me or you can't afford a lesson with me, I still want to be able to help you.
Yeah.
So what my subscribe page was about was doing it as cheap as possible to as many people as possible. So if one guy's dealing with a specific target, he can watch my video and he might find 40% in there, which for the coffee it costs him to that guy that can't afford the lesson is invaluable. And that's more, my subscribe page is more of a fast tip based subscribe page than I'm going to turn you into a champion subscribe page.
Yeah, understood. There's a lot of top pros in the U.S. that have these subscribe pages. Guys like Anthony Matarese, who's also written a book. Gavin Miles has a subscribe page. Zach Conbaum just released another shooting video. Have you had any chance to glance at Anthony's book or see any videos anybody's doing?
Yeah, I do. I respect Anthony a lot, both in his instruction and obviously in his shooting. So, if I get a chance to look at anything he does, then I certainly do, because I'm also not pig-headed enough that I might pick something up myself. And you're not going to teach me anything new, but I might find some terminology that I think I like the way you've said that. So I do tend to look at things like that. There are some people out there that I just think, what, I'd rather stick hot pins in my eyes than read anything you've written.
Hey, Ben, I thought of something here. If I can jump in for a quick second,
Please.
You study shooters a lot, Ben. I don't know if people know this about you or not, but you do. You study and watch shooters, and I know, being overseas, you're probably watching the videos that you can and seeing what you can. Is there a common theme or a common problem you see amongst shooters in the United States or in general that you see this new trend of everybody's gravitating towards this and this is wrong? Or is there something you're seeing a lot more of that you think is we need to know?
Not really. I think it's common knowledge that I have huge amount of respect for all the top American shooters, but 4 years ago they ran away with the sport. and that gap's closed again.
I felt like it was more than 4 years ago.
I don't know. I think I'm not
I
saying.
felt like we started
and I'm
making
not just
big
saying for a
noise.
year.
13,
They probably had
14.
They probably had the majority on it for a good 8 years.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it was 1 year ago.
Yeah.
Saying probably up until 4 years ago. You know.
Yes. Agreed. The French have really been dominant in VTask as a whole, I thought, for the last 4 years or so. The Italians have done equal or maybe better than us, and at least on the team stage. Of course, you Brits, you guys, you and George and Mark Windsor. I mean, the list goes on and on. Sam Green. I mean, yeah, I felt like we've fallen off a little bit. Not sure why. Maybe we got ahead of ourselves. We got excited at how well we were doing, and we woke up everybody else, and they just kind of jumped past us. And that maybe that's the nature of things, But I think
the only thing that and look, this would be again just an opinion. The one thing that I would criticize is the amount of shoots you're doing.
Yeah.
For me, you can't. If I can't get excited about a championship that's 4 weeks away, you've got a championship every week.
Well, Ben, not only that, we shoot 9 events at these championships.
That's what I'm
kind of
talking
why
about.
I'm telling you, I love it. I'm a little bored with trying to try hard, I guess you could say. I'm trying hard. I want to win. I'm not making any excuses, but I'm out there having a ball. I'm cutting up. I'm laughing. Like, it's such a fun place to be. We're at beautiful properties. We're around amazing people. It's a little bit work for me. It's a little bit my presence and building my brand and that kind of stuff. Being there, I want to do well, but it's a blast to be there and just to relax and have fun.
You don't.
It's every week, so you kind of have to do that a little bit. I take national serious. I take world serious. I don't take everyone I do every week serious, and I think that maybe it hurts
take
in
a
the long run.
winning thoroughbred racehorse and race it every Saturday.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, I think that hurts me a little bit, if I was being honest, in trying to achieve a goal of winning a world. But it's just the nature of things. This business, I don't get paid $1 million for winning a world championship. We've got to make money doing lessons, being out there, supporting our sponsors. And we're still trying to grow our game. And it's an exciting time. I just picked a sponsorship up with a jewelry store. These guys are building the watch for the gun I'm designing that Zoli's going to release, the Brad Kidd gun in 2024. There's some exciting stuff happening in the U.S. with our coverage, media, you guys included. You guys are getting 500,000 views. I don't know what you're doing, but there's a lot of attention on the sport, and it's about to explode over here. And it's fun to be part of that.
Do you not agree that if you throw 900 targets on one property, you've got to sacrifice target quality?
Depends on the property. We're on 600 acres right now, and it's not nationals. There's only 500 people. The targets are outstanding. So yes and no. Most of the time, yes, you're correct. Sometimes no. Depends on the ground, the personnel. But yeah, you're correct. In general, yes.
And that's you went to Hungary. If you weren't used to seeing space, you were in a world of.
I'm sorry if you couldn't. What? I didn't catch it.
If you've forgotten what space is, lead. If you went to Hungary.
Oh my goodness, yeah, it was incredible. Nothing. You don't get to do anything like that except for the World Feed Test, where somebody went and created 200 special targets. You're right, that doesn't happen here. But a lot of these major championships, they hire 8 different target setters, and they got room to spread it out. The U.S. is kind of a giant in this. We can do some special things you don't see anywhere else in the world. You're right, Ben. Most shoots are target quality is sacrificed greatly because of that. But there are some that are not.
If we backtrack 10 minutes and you walked into Hungary as a maintained lead shooter, you might as well have packed your shit up and gone home.
Yeah, definitely. But part of the goal that a lot of us are coming to in America is we're growing this sport by leaps and bounds. We have tens of millions of shooters, and it's growing by leaps and bounds every day, and it could be exciting for what it means for our sport. So more shooting, more targets, more of that. The World Championship exists, and we get to go do that. The game, it's an amateur sport more so in America. You guys in England treat it a little bit more like a pro sport. The refs don't want you talking. You don't argue with them. You don't coach. We're out there laughing and cutting up and having fun, and there's 1,000 people shooting 15 different events. And it's that's kind of what it is over here. The refs are not professional refs. We have kids with buttons that never done it before all day at the Southeast Regional today. we're really there scoring ourselves, to be honest. So, but it's more of a fun atmosphere. Don't get me wrong. There's pros in the game. We take it serious. The sport wants to and needs to become that in a way. We've got to figure out how to walk that line because we've got to separate a little bit. It's what it is so cool. It's you get to go to the NASCAR race and race with the pros. You get to go to Augusta and play on the course. There's not much like that. And there are true pros in this game. And if you try to make it pro, you lose that a little bit. So it's fun to kind of have both. It's fun to see things like our nationals have pro rotations, but our sport as a general still be that NASCAR race every weekend that thousands of Americans come to and enjoy every day. So there's it's a double-edged sword. You can't, there's no perfect, but it's exciting over here right now. Shooting America's an exciting place to be in comparison to most of the world when it comes to clay target sports.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Well, you even made a comment one time, Ben, on a podcast that you pulled into a tournament here in the States one time, and you're like, the lights are on or shooting, or like, what the hell's going on here? You guys, guys were out practicing, and you made the comment that we shoot tenfold what you guys do over there. Or you think a lot of that is part of the problem?
I don't know if it's part of the problem. I don't think you can overshoot, but you can certainly suppress your hunger to win.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
Like,
that's I would have shot less than 8,000 rounds this year.
You look at all the pros over here. Every one of them has gone through little retirement phases of going away for a few years, finding their hunger again, coming back. That's part of it over here. There's so much shooting that everybody takes a few years off every few years, kind of thing. So,
but that world championship now, coming in the top 5 at one of them world championships now is a win. If you can get yourself into that top 5, you're one of the best in the world, and you've just got to have that desire to break every single target with the right method, at the right speed, with the right lead. And the moment you just kick back and think, bang, 0.
You're right, Ben. Getting in that top 5 is pretty much winning a world championship. You just have to continually do that enough to where you're the one that happens to win it. Yeah. If you're going to really, if it's not an anomaly or a luck thing. But yeah, you got to be consistent. You got to put those numbers up, and then one year it's going to be your year. I haven't been able to consistently do that. I've had a couple good ones. I shot 193 at a world championship and got second place one time, but I haven't, been putting up top 5 scores consistently like you have, and that's why I don't have, double-digit podium appearances and whatnot. So much respect to you and your shooting in that regard. That's why. Whenever I get the opportunity, whenever I'm overseas, get to spend some time with you, talk with you, be around you, watch you shoot. I feel like my game always levels up. So I think
that's what I said to you. We've all got an opportunity to have a legacy in the sport. That can be good or bad. We all pretty know which end of the spectrum I'm going to land on, but we can still make progress. Now, I said to you in Hungary, Brad, don't leave this sport being the best shot that's never won it.
Mm-hmm. Those words rang through my bones, kind of thing. I tell you what that did, maybe more than anything, and I don't know what you thought about our time together, how it helped me. Forget everything you said to me, technically, whatever. You instilled confidence in myself that was missing. I could feel you believed in me, and that meant a lot.
No, and I've said to you all along, you can get a medal at a world championship by luck. You can't get 2 by accident.
Yeah.
There's no accidental champions, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, podium in both sides of our sport, sporting clays and FITAS. What, nobody else turn up, or were you just good? Mm-hmm. Now, somehow you've got to get that desire to do that again, And for me, it's just, I just love annoying people.
Yeah. I'll tell you what it was. I'll tell you a little bit for me, Ben. I shot when I was a kid, and I was great. And I won many U.S. Opens and national championships and a world championship. And I got away from the game. The sport wasn't big enough to make a living doing it. And while I was away from him, I always thought, could I do this? Could I win at the highest level? Am I going to look back on my life and regret not trying? And that's what brought me back. And it's why when you say things like that to me, I go, don't waste this, give it your effort. You're going to have to give it your effort for the next 10, 15, 20 years, and maybe you'll get one, so I don't want to look back and regret not putting that effort in,
When I came back into the competitive year this year, I've never been nervous about competing. I'm like, right, I'm the best in the world and I don't really care. This year I was like, God damn, I've never been so nervous. I'm like, I've got a point to prove to me, but I've got a point to prove to them. And I don't really know which one's more important right now, whether I can do it for me or whether I can shut them up. And that just doubled the desire to not give up that soft bird. So for me, I learned more about myself this year on how to stay in the top 5 for 7 months than I ever have done before. And, it wasn't technical ability on delivering the perfect shot. It was the hunger to deliver the perfect shot 200 times.
Yeah, 100%.
I can shoot swing through, I can shoot pull away, I can shoot maintain lead, I can do it all. But can I do it with inch precision when it matters, when I really don't want to be there?
And to be fair, there's 100 guys at least that can do everything you describe, but that's the separator, is the discipline, the detail, the hunger to go that far, to be that consistent. It is only very serious people that are acting in a very serious way that get that job done. And you look at that, you look at who does it, Ben, Digweed, Joe Finizzi, young kid, but a very serious kid. Anthony Matarese, very serious person. These guys are champions. Sam Green, Mark Windsor, all Bardo. Those guys know how to go out there and take it serious. And it's impressive to watch that level of mental focus and effort each and every time, day in, for 4 days in a row or whatever it takes. So that's a big part of it. And that's what I think we go to for that information. Go see Anthony's subscribe page, get his book, check out Zach's video, look to the champions for the information, and see what you can get out of their ideas. There's a lot of other stuff out there that I don't think is helpful. There's too much to decipher through. So I think cutting through that, I like your subscribe channel a lot, Ben. So
look, if you wouldn't take driving lessons off somebody that can't drive.
Correct.
You're much more diplomatic than I am, and you're trying to be as polite as possible. If the guy can't hit him, turn his YouTube channel off.
Yeah.
If the guy moves his gun with the finesse of a chimney sweep, turn his YouTube channel off.
Yeah.
If the guy wants to hang around on YouTube making wonderful videos with his wife, telling you how you should and shouldn't look, and he can't hit him, turn his YouTube channel off.
Yeah. Jason, and Sean, I'm curious from hearing from you guys. You guys are, online, on video all the time. Do you guys look at a lot of, types like Anthony's books or Zach's videos or Ben subscribe? Have you found value in tips from that? Do you see a difference in some of their stuff versus other coaches who have gone through courses that instruct, what you guys take on it? Because we don't really learn from subscribe pages. You're the audience that we're trying to bring value to. We're trying to understand where value is. What's you guys take?
Sean, go ahead and answer first.
Well, I will say this. I mean, Jason and I want to say that we're latecomers to the game because we did shoot back when we were younger. But in 2017, that's when we made the decision to actually go after, chasing registered targets. And it was only at that time that we became aware of, how serious you could get with this game. And after a few, busted chops out of our first couple tournaments, we realized, oh boy, we got a lot to learn. So, we started chasing all kinds of different things. Was it the shell? Was it the gun? Was it this? Was it that? And as a new person in the sport, you don't know. And that's one of the main reasons why we started our podcast, is to try to decrease that time or that the amount of money spent in the wrong direction to try to help people out. So fast forward to now, where we're at now, it's not so much, I think me and Jason have talked about this many times, it's not so much that we can't hit certain targets, because we've seen with our travels and going to U.S. Opens and nationals and big blasts and states and regionals all over the country, we've seen pretty much what can and can't be done with a clay bird, but obviously it's not just seeing it and living it and trying to shoot it. There's so much more to the game, and you have to understand it's kind of like a tiered system. Each step gets you a little bit closer, and with each step you gain more understanding and more knowledge, and you also figure out exactly what you need to learn. So by going to people that are super high level in the game, Anthony, Ben, any of those guys, Brad, that's where you start to glean little bits of information. So if you can read that book or watch that video, sometimes you'll get a moment where the light bulb clicks on and you really, really pick something up that was missing or that you were lacking. And that's what's exciting. But you have to kind of go through the doldrums, the standard stuff that everybody does that starts this sport, before you can get far enough along to appreciate the knowledge and the wisdom that guys like you are teaching us.
So for me, I've been a little careful with it.
Let me step in real quick. I like what you said, Sean. I feel like you're lost, but you're lost in the right direction. That's all you can be. You got to go out there and be in the fight, be on the course, be at the championship with some ideas and filtering through those ideas and leveling up as you go. So I think that was well stated. You can't understand it till you know it all, till you can put it all together. And all you can be is lost in the right direction, getting more comfortable with good ideas and growing, through your time at the range, in the box, at the shoot. That's awesome. Jason.
So I have to be a little careful with it. And what I mean by that is we're talking to guys like you guys every week in and week out. And it's
the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
The rabbit hole of info.
There's a lot of video. There's a lot of information out there. I think Anthony said it best, and I kind of hung up on this, and I became careful because of what he said. You can gain knowledge by reading a book or watching a video, but you only gain skill when you can apply that knowledge. Okay? So for me, if I get overwhelmed with all this buzz, I get out there and it's like I feel like I'm lost sometimes.
Yeah.
So I have to go back to basic stuff and work forward with my coach and try to apply what he's teaching me and try to practice the way he's teaching me and try to build my skill set that way. I still listen to everything you guys say every week. I still
have to. Yeah, it's what you do.
But it's real careful, like you said, or it's real dangerous to go down a rabbit hole, like you said. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's cutting through the right information could be helpful. Let me ask you guys this. I've got a 12-year-old son. He shoots. He broke his first clay out of the air when he was 3 years old. He's been around the game forever. He didn't shoot much from age 3 to now. He shot his first tournament when he was 6, but it was really this summer. I never asked him to go to the range, once he got a little bit older. But this summer he wanted to go to all the tournaments and come practice and whatnot. And Ben, he's been around the sport. He's seen everybody, so maybe he's got to level up from every other kid that's starting out, never have made a trip to the range before. I don't say a word to him. I give him a case of shells. I don't tell him about hole points. I don't tell him about nothing. I just let him shoot. That's all I do. I don't tell him. Sometimes I might say give it more, but I really don't say a word. I'm just letting the kid pound. And what do you think about that, Ben?
Well, he's not going to listen to you anyway.
Exactly.
Exactly. But if you have a look, I don't know if you follow the sport over here, but we about 3 months ago we had the European Compact Championships in Italy, and in the juniors the shoot-off was between Charles Bardot's son and Richard Folds' son. Mm-hmm. That shows you that being around the right people is going to give you that head start, and Miles is on that right track. You don't have to say anything, but he's watching, he's listening, he's learning.
Yeah, do you know if they're coaching their kids much or just kind of doing the same, just letting them play?
Yeah, the same thing. I think Richard Folds' son Charlie, I spent a little bit of time with him in Greece this past week at the airport. I think he has a few lessons off a guy called Josh Brown over here. I do think Charles works personally with Hugo. But look, if you're around somebody that does it well, you do it well.
All right, this is serious right here. All you parents, I see you out there at the SCTP shoots, at practice. You just heard it here. The best in the world, they don't tell their kids a damn thing. Sorry, I don't know if we can cuss on this. But you guys are out there coaching the heck out of your kids. No disrespect. I don't mean to be insulting anyone. You don't understand the game at all. You don't understand the sport at all. You are
Stop
in your
saying
kids.
that. Just
You're
expose
all
them.
over them. Let them shoot. Let them enjoy it. Back off. That's the best recipe. I see so many parents at, whether it's at the national championship or at the SCTP or 4-H or whatever, coaching their kids every shot and wanting to take credit for teaching their kid how to shoot. My kid's going to beat your kid because I don't say a word to him and I just let him play the game. It's that simple.
Right.
Let him shoot, man.
Next subject, what we had a big chat about, what we were miles apart on. Eyes.
That's a good one. We all talk about see it. Ben, you never say that. Why? What gives, man? Everybody knows you got to look at the bird. That's the most important thing.
I've never struggled to look at it. They pull, they press a button, it flies through the air, and I look at it.
Why do others struggle to look at it and you don't?
Well, do they struggle to look at it? I mean, what is there to struggle? It's a
why do they then?
I have no idea. This is the one thing I said to you. I look at it harder. I'm 6 foot behind it. Look at it harder. Well, now I can see it better, and I'm still 6 foot behind it.
I think what's missing in that, what I think it is, I think it's eyes and trust. I think eyes is a word for pull the trigger on time. Trust yourself. Don't hang out and miss the moment.
But I love it when I see these guys. You got to see the rings on it. That pissing thing's rotating at 2,000 miles an hour. What rings are you looking at? I got no idea.
The streak of rings from the ring going around in swirls.
Good luck. My vision is absolutely impeccable, and all I need to see is a fuzzy line this side and a fuzzy line that side, because I can guarantee you that solid object is slap bang in the middle.
Yeah, I'm with you. But to be fair, I see rings on our birds more so than yours. There's no detail in y'all's clays. There is detail on ours more so. They look a bit different. I feel like conscious eyes is a part of it for me. But I'm with you a little bit on, I should be. I do have a tendency to kind of give up visually. So you could call it eyes, you could call it effort, you could call it focus, you could call it trust. I think it's all the same thing. I think maybe a lot of that is a little beginner with just the idea of, am I looking at the gun? Am I not? People, that's all over the place with guys.
But I like
not seeing the gun and seeing it. Let me say this. I watched a video of Brandon Powell, and it was just more of a, relaxed setting. It was a little bit of coaching, but he was keeping his hold point where his look point was so he could locate the gun and not look at the gun. Things like that are really important to understand. Looking at the bird, I think, is part of it for me. I think, Ben, naturally you look at it well and you're very confident, so you don't struggle with that, is my kind of take on it. I do think there is some value on it, but I do hear what you're saying. And it rang through for me. Getting the gun in the right spot. You could close your eyes. If the gun's in the right spot when you pull the trigger, the bird breaks. So the most important thing is not seeing it. It's getting the gun in the right spot. Is seeing it. How big a part is seeing the clay of getting the gun in the right spot? I think it plays a role. But, it's hard to argue your success and your coaching success. You don't talk about looking at the bird and you're building champions, but I watched some of us talk about it more,
I've watched you shoot some tremendous scores back in the day after some serious nights out.
Couldn't see the bird.
That's what I mean. So you can't tell me you turned up to the range like this and told me I can look at the top. I can see the bird real well today. And you put up a serious number. So I don't see how people sit there and say, look at it hard. And this hard focus, soft focus. I don't look at it any different. I look at it. And I pull the trigger.
It has kind of become a head scramble for me. So when I think too consciously about looking at the bird, I miss my moment. I don't pull the trigger. I'm focused on seeing the bird instead of shooting the dang thing. But I do try to look at the bird is in my mind a little bit. Visual connections in my mind. I like to force that. I feel like I'm trying to have effort and keep my eyes connected and my hands connected all through it. So it's not unlike hitting a ball.
So what's hard focus? What's hard focus and soft focus?
I don't really try to differentiate much. I guess hard focus is if you've got something to focus on. You're in soft focus till there is a clay to kind of stare at, if you will, as if you were staring at a point on the wall or whatever. So that's kind of what I see it as. But I'm not trying to do some magic, get my eyes in soft focus when I call Paul. I'm pretty much looking over there where I'm going to see the bird or where I want to look, where I want to see the bird, and keep my eyes with it from that moment. I've set that up. You've decided to look where you can see it, You know, I think you understand all that. You just say seeing the bird's too simple to talk about. Of course, you're looking at the bird. What else are you going to look at? It's right there. You know, that's what we're trying to hit. Yeah, we're looking at the bird. You know, if you're trying to catch the ball, looking at the ball seems obvious. But
guess when the bird's
ironically
gonna
enough, you have to talk to kids about keeping their eye on the ball. And if you do that, they catch the ball pretty well.
What's that, Ben?
Guess when the bird's going to come?
When you say pull.
When I ask for it. So that, don't even take me by surprise. oh, goddamn! There it is. Shit, missed it. Didn't look at it well enough. Oh, God, it came on the L, not the P.
Yeah, look, I hear it a lot. You shot 6 foot low. You didn't look at it. Yeah, that wasn't going to help you. A little bit better eyes wasn't going to help you. When I don't look at the bird, I lost my trust, and I did lose sight of it. I think that's what happens when you lose trust. You lose sight of the bird. People say, "Look at it." It's not look at it. It's trust it. So I hear what you're saying, Ben. I kind of agree with you, but I think looking at it's part of it. I don't know if there's anything else from a technical side that I can really think. Let's cover it. That's huge. What do you think, Ben? Is that pretty well rounded there?
I think one of the big things that we discussed in Hungary was your sort of move into the mount to my stationary mount.
Yeah.
You know, I think that was one of our big talking points.
Go into that, Ben. What do you mean by that?
Let me jump in. I go after the bird with my mount. I try to make a move like I'm going to go catch the bird or go get the bird. Ben gets the gun still, gets the gun and bird together, or gets the bird past the gun and makes his move from there. And, you know, he pointed out some issues with that. And kind of same thing as the technical stuff. I did that with you a little bit, getting the gun still. I've quit thinking about that. But to be fair, I don't think about going after the bird either. I'm just getting the gun mounted and, you know, thinking about where the gun needs to get and staying in balance to use my hands good. If I know where the gun needs to get, I got good hands and eyes in doing it and a good mind where I got a good plan and I'm trusting it, the bird's dead. That's kind of where I'm at right now with my game. Where there's faults in that, maybe I need to think a little more technically.
Yeah, I'm a little bit
and
different.
Then maybe I need to work my mount and getting the gun still. Maybe that's something I need to do. I don't know. I feel like I can kill everything 100 yards and in right now.
See, for me, I'm a little bit different to that. I don't have to trust what I'm going to do, and I'm even at the point this year. One of the biggest things that's changed in my game is the last thing I say to myself when I walk into the box of a FITAS peg or a sporting clays peg is, "You don't have to like this."
Yeah.
And that's the last thing I say. You don't have to like what you're going to do. The plan's the plan. You don't have to like it. You don't have to believe in it, but you're doing it no matter what.
I think
so
for me, Ben,
I'm sort of moving away from that trust and confidence. I think this is the plan. You're doing it. You don't have to like it, but it's happening.
Yeah. No, that's what it has to be. That's all it is. I was going to interject. To be fair, it's a little dishonest to say I'm not doing those things. I'm doing all those things you said, but there's birds that are challenging that I feel uncomfortable trying to do those new things. So I resort back to, you know, what I always have done. And not on a lot of that climbing stuff, run the tracks where nothing else was going to work. The birds that I haven't struggled with in the past that I don't feel, you know, an issue. And I think running that's a little more pull away when you maybe would run through swing. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's that hybrid of, okay, there's no right and wrong. This target suits me better to do X. And that's when you open up that toolbox and you've got more than one tool.
Yeah, I've got a bunch. You know, and you've getting got more experimental with some new tools thanks to you.
Yeah, and I think that's what shooting's about, is about finding the best version of you, not the best version of your coach. And I think that's what separates good coaches from bad coaches, is where you must do it this way. Okay, I do it this way, but I think this way is going to suit you.
I've spent time with you and Anthony. I've heard it from both of you. Coach yourself. You've got to coach yourself. I've told you the words a million times. You've got to tell them to yourself. You got to take over. It's got to become your own. It's got to feel right. You know, that's a lot of wisdom in that statement. Learn from your coach, make it your own. You know, make sure he doesn't think you're doing something stupid or crazy, like he thinks it's okay. But at the end of the day, you got to make the decision. It's got to feel right to you. Ben, what's next for you? We're just getting into nationals over here. I'll go ahead, please. You had a thought on that?
Well, I think a lot of coaches look at things, and even shooters, they look at things from the wrong angle. So I'm very much of, when I look at a method, when I look at some coaches around the world, they teach you what's positive about that method. To me, that's just backwards. I want to know what's negative. What can go wrong with this method? That's the way I teach. Is like, right, if I'm going to shoot this bird, can I shoot this bird with maintain lead? Of course you can, but this can go wrong. So if I know what can go wrong, then I can address it. Where people start to look at what's good about the method, well, there's good in every method, but there's bad in every method. Now,
you're measuring a 92%er versus a 99%er, so to speak.
Exactly. So I look at it from the other side of things. My job is not to teach you what's good. My job is to teach you what's bad. If you do it good, you're not going to know you do it good.
And a 92%er versus a 98%er for you, in the way you're doing it. Maybe it's the opposite for your client. Oh no!
But I want you to be away from me and be able to identify which of the negatives went wrong. If maintain lead doesn't give you the line of the bird, you shoot maintain lead and miss the line of the bird. You've got to know what you're looking for. Yeah. If swing through gives you the line of the bird, well, I don't have to worry about the line because I've just used a method that gives that, which allows me to concentrate on other aspects of the shot that could go wrong. But when you're so concentrated on the good, you can't make the good any better. Good's good. If you make the perfect move, you can't make it better.
Let me get into that a little bit. When I'm running swing through, I still have to focus on the line. I got to make sure I'm swinging through to that right line and lead. If it's a swing through to 2 feet, not if it's a swing through to the bird, I'm not as concerned of line.
But when I see I just make sure my students, when I say we're shooting swing through, we're going in the tail and we're coming out the head.
Yeah.
And if you get that part right, the lines are given.
Yeah.
But
you've got it. So you've got to cut through the middle of that bird. You're making sure you do that precisely.
If you go in the tail and come out the chest, well, you've just made a complete car crash of swing through. You might as well.
So you've got to identify the tail and the nose and say I'm coming through that part of the bird and firing when I get there.
Yeah, and it's the line's given if you use the line. If you've already predetermined and you deviate from the line, then your clutch has just slipped and you've come out the wrong place.
Yep. Understood.
And if you're going to swing through, you've got to be prepared to work both sides of the bird. Swing through is the only method where you're going to work both sides of the bird, where your negative lead's going to have a huge impact on your positive lead. You can't be, if I'm going to shoot swing through over pull away, I've got to know that my work rate's got to go up. Pull away, all I've got to be concerned with is my positive aspect. If I'm going to shoot swing through, I've now got to double my workload because I've got a negative aspect to work to. So, albeit it's going to have a positive, it's also got more workload.
That, I think it's hard for people to gauge or learn from videos and podcasts, but I'm at a level where you just said right there, helped me. When I'm swinging through, it's a bigger move. It's a bigger workload. I'm not getting through that workload of giving up before I finish there. That's going to help me do a better job with swing through for sure.
And for me, if I'm shooting 100 targets, right? If I imagine
understanding that and getting through that move to the end, that's going to help.
And what I'm looking at, like say, look at your cell phone. This cell phone's got a 51% battery life left, and that's how I shoot around a sporting clays. I've got 100% to give.
Yep.
Now, for me, pull away is easy. So every time I can shoot pull away, I'm reserving battery life.
Yeah.
Every time I'm shooting swing through, I'm going to use more workload. And every time I shoot maintain lead, that battery's going to get depleted. For me, I'm not saying that's for shooters. That's for me.
Yeah.
If you're a maintain lead shooter and that's your go-to, when you shoot swing through, your battery life's going to be depleted. So you've got to pick the right method and also reserve battery life. If you get to station 15 of a 15-station course and you've got 98% left, you've underworked. You've given nothing to that course.
Yeah.
The course you've shot it easy and you're probably not on a big score. If you get to station 13 and you're on 2%, well, you've overworked and you've concentrated on parts of the shot that didn't need concentrating on, and now your battery's depleted. So, I look at it as, okay, the best for this bird is here, but it's gonna take from me.
Yeah.
And you've got to understand that your primary is easier to shoot than the other two. So if I'm going to shoot maintain lead, for me, it's got to be worth the risk.
Yeah, no, understood. No, so Ben, we've got, we're in America here. We got fall season coming, big time for us. A lot of shoots. San Antonio, where are you with competitions? What's next for you?
We got one more competition in France. We've got a big competition coming up in France, and then that's it. Then we're done. Then the gun goes away.
When is the competition in France?
October 7-8.
So what will your preparation be from here on? I mean, you're obviously trying to go in with 100% battery. Is there any work to be done between now and that final competition of the year for you?
Yeah, I mean, I just went to the World Compact, and I'll be dead honest with you, as arrogant as this sounds. I won the big tournament in Germany 2 weeks ago with a big score there, and I went to the World Compact, and my only concern was how many cartridges is it going to take me to shoot 200 straight? That's all I was worried about. Am I going to use 201 or 211? But I'm going to shoot 200. You know, I just couldn't miss. And then I got sick. So
you're ready.
It would have been very easy for me to walk away from that event and just say, okay, I'm going to write this off. But I was like, okay, you said you were going to shoot 200. You've now got the medicine. You've had the injections. You got to shoot the next 150.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
You know, so my goal now is I probably won't have time to get the gun out. I'm now teaching 7 days a week. I've just got back from Ireland tonight. I'm flying back to Ireland to teach on Sunday. I'm there all the way through, and I'm just teaching for the next 20 days in a row. So I'll try and get an hour at some point to get the gun out and just make sure that everything is. But like right now, if I call pull and a clay pigeon don't break, my first thought is there's no shot in that cartridge.
Yeah. No,
that's how
a good place
confident
to be.
I am when I pull the trigger.
Yeah, and I teach a lot. Anthony teaches a lot. There's guys that teach, in my mind, a lot. You do like 30-40%, maybe more than the busiest guy I know of. It's pretty incredible how big your battery life is and how hard you go. So bravo to you.
Well, the problem is you lot got too good of a reputation. See, my reputation is bad, so everyone has to come see me. You got to start breaking the rules, and then you do more hours.
There you go. I'll take that. I'll take that and note that. We'll think about it. I break a few rules, man. But no, it's impressive how many hours you do, how many people are seeking your advice. So what's your prediction for France? What's going to happen?
It's a very technical ground. It's Cedric Bidet. It's run by his cousin, so it's a very difficult shoot. It's always pushing the boundaries. So
I've known Cedric. He likes big birds. He's been around a long time. He's not afraid to hurt somebody's feelings. You know,
it's going to be pretty much Eurocash style target. So you got to be confident, but you got to be loose. You're not going to go in there and win it on day one. You're going to be, you're going to have to accept that there's going to be a lot of zeros on your scorecard, so you can't have your egos burst when you miss. So it's going to be accepting zeros and not getting frustrated, which is not nice for any of us when we're looking for perfection. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be a completely different mindset to what I had last week, where you're chasing perfection. This time you're going to absolutely be ready to miss. Misses are going to be frequent.
How do you think you fare in that environment versus the compact? I'm going to shoot 200 straight. Environment.
Yeah, like the Eurocash this year, which is by far the hardest tournament in Europe. I won that by 7. So,
So you feel pretty good going into France.
Yeah, look, I feel I can match anybody right now in the world. I just, I got unlucky in Hungary, and I could actually say I got unlucky in Cyprus. Hungary, I got beat. I can live with that. If you get beat, there's nothing you could have done. I don't think I would have shot 186 if I went round again.
Who else is there to watch out for in France?
Everybody's there. Richard, George, Charles, Christophe Auvray. The best of the best will be there. So, it's the same over there. If you guys go and win a Southeast regional, it's like winning a world.
Yeah.
And it's the same here. If you go and win the Eurocash, you won the world. The only part
you've got to shoot well enough to win the world, to win any of these shoots. Period.
Exactly. So,
and in
your
a lot
technical
of times,
ability's got to be
there. You've got to shoot a bigger number than it takes to win the worlds. Everybody's relaxed. We do this. This is a regional. There's 5 of them every year.
Yeah. So I'm excited to compete. But right now I'm just excited about this little girl being delivered healthy, and that's more of what's in my mind at the minute. And I've known you for 30 years, and to watch you grow as a family man and a father, I know we're sitting here talking about shooting, but I can't tell you how proud I am of you, of what you've changed.
The same, man, and congratulations to the new addition to come. We'll be thinking about you, and it's exciting. Being a parent is There's nothing like it. There's nothing better. There's nothing more fulfilling. You know, it gives you meaning and purpose, and you know, shoot
and I
go
think,
well and
I
good.
don't know about,
I saw a
I don't know
Facebook
about
post
yourself,
you
but,
said it was something about, you know, am I really worried about breaking the clay target right now? I think it was when your son was in some health crisis. There are things that are just more important. So, you know, well put. And that's a little bit. You talk about these guys in the 50s winning. Look where we've been. You know, I've got 3 boys, 12, 5, and 1. I haven't been very good for about 12 years. So, you know, it's kind of how it goes.
But one thing I found about, if I take Jackson to an event, I'm like, in the back of my mind, I shoot a big score on day 1, and I'm like, right, he's coming on the podium with me. And now I don't want to, we're not going to have this picture taken with Silver. Silver's not going to look good, right? You can't be the person on the podium with a kid second.
No, you can't. You can't take the kid up there for Silver.
So
no,
I've also found that as a bit of a incentive to say, okay, let's play this one out for him, and that gives me that 10% of what we discussed earlier about being serious.
Yeah.
You know, because right now, if I don't make the podium, he's 2 years old. He don't know. In 3 years' time, he's gonna be saying, "Look, why are you so useless, Dad?" You know, there's videos of us up there before. Why on earth are we clapping?
What happened?
And there's that incentive to play out too.
Yeah, I'm finding, you know, you mentioned there being lots of shoots. I'm finding a lot of joy, or some rekindled joy, because it is. You can lose that passion, but I've got my son going with me to a lot of shoots, you know, kind of growing up the way I did. So shooting with him in the squad and seeing him shoot, that there's a whole new level of fun that comes, you know, when you get to that point, you know, with your children. So that's been great as well.
You started a lot earlier than me, dude. I was just practicing.
I don't practice as much.
You used a lot more maintain lead than I did.
Oh goodness.
Oh man. Well, guys, this has been really, really interesting, entertaining. I enjoyed it very much.
Definitely.
If you guys want to do a part 2, Ben, Brad, if you guys want to collaborate again and come back for another one, I say we do it again.
I think that'd be good. I think, you know, we've started off here. We've talked about some things. I think you end up getting a lot of feedback when you put videos out like this, and people want to see what the next aspect of it is. So,
I mean, one idea that I've got that I'd love to do, and I'd love the 4 of us to do this again. But if you can get somebody to hold your camera, Brad, and we can do this whilst you're at a range.
Fantastic. That's a whole new element. Yeah.
And then we can start looking at different moves, and we can sort of go deeper into the online lesson, because I can try and describe something to you, and you can see if you can pull it off.
Yeah.
That would be. Yeah.
It's really interesting. Technology is getting to where we ought to be able to coach online at a pretty high level. You know, at the range.
I'd like to do remotely. It probably can't be with me on the range, because obviously you're behind me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean in life; I mean in time.
In hours, yes.
But I think that'd be very. I think that'd be very, very different if we can get you on a range, and let's do this again, and we can actually start putting some. And then I do believe we could do what we achieved and actually help the viewers and show them what a good move looks like and what a bad move looks like. And
I think that's a fantastic part 2, Jason. Let's make it happen, Sean. What do you guys say? Part 2, me and Ben, me with the gun at the range. You know, showing Ben my stuff.
Heck yeah,
absolutely. Now, see, Sean and I would have our guns at the range, but Ben would tell us just go take up golf. So
right.
Sorry.
Put it back in the sleeve.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, Ben. Let's do this. Let's set this up. Brad, I know you got the Diamond Classic. Of course, we got Nationals coming up, but we can put it together here. It won't take much.
I'll tell you what, I'm in Louisiana and Texas for the next several days, months really, through October. My range, you guys have seen my social media post, a place I call Cajun Paradise. Look at my social media, Brad Kidd Jr. on Instagram, and I've got 125 machines on wireless. Every target you could ask for and imagine right in front of me in one field. Ben, you know, we could fast forward through a lot of shots and a lot of tips. It could be very cool. You know,
I can make it work. Just let me know.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And if you're struggling, just look at it harder.
Focus.
Ben,
Yeah,
I didn't see that one well. I think I'm going to look at this one. Watch me.
Yeah. Awesome, guys. Well, thank you both very much. Appreciate it. Sean, stay on here. We'll do a real quick wrap up. Brad, Ben, I'll be in touch. We'll set this up.
Yeah,
All right,
thank you
mate.
guys.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks for having
Take
us.
it easy.
Yeah, it was great.
Thanks,
See
guys.
you, Ben.
All
Ben,
right.
good being with you, bud.
And you, man. Be good.
See ya.
Take care.
Well, Sean, that was pretty cool. What do you think?
Actually, I think it was very cool. It was really nice to see kind of a really gritty interview between Brad and Ben. I mean, they know each other very well, and I thought that there was a lot of great information on there. I mean, those two guys talking at their level obviously laid down a lot of good information.
Yeah, for sure. I hope everybody's getting over and seeing this thing on YouTube.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, guys, if you like this concept, this is something kind of new that we've tried out. Get over to our YouTube page, hit like on this, subscribe to our YouTube channel, especially if you want to see more of this. This was kind of a new thing that we tried out with Ben and Brad. So if you liked it, follow us, like us, subscribe, and maybe we'll bring some more of that to the table.
Yep, for sure. Sean Alley, we tell everybody every week, take someone new shooting, take them to a tournament. What do you think a new shooter can take out of this video we just did and listening to Ben and Brad?
Well, I mean, it depends on their level. Obviously, Ben had some good points about, as a young shooter, leaving his son alone, letting him try to figure things out. So I thought that was a very valid point. The same thing goes for sports. The little league coach that tries to overcoach his kid, or the kid in the Pee Wee football team, or whatever, what have you. Parents can take it to a new level. So that was some good information. And I think especially, what stuck with me more than anything was Ben's definition of, you can't be a one-trick pony in this sport. And there's benefits to the different methods we use, whether it's pull away, swing through, or maintain lead. And one of the challenges at a certain level that you have to overcome is the fact that not one method is going to get you there. And you have to be fluent with all of them. And you have to realize what the pros and the cons are of each method when you go to implement them.
Yeah, for sure. Well, be interesting to see this part 2. Having been coach Brad right on this video. So that's going to be interesting. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's going to be very cool. Very cool. Looking forward to that.
I think that'd be next level. So we have to absolutely acknowledge our sponsors. Very big thank you to Elite Shotguns. These sponsors help bring us these shows every week to you guys, and we can't thank them enough. Our sponsors are near and dear to us because of who they are and the products they carry, and we're hoping that you're finding value in them. So thank you very much to Elite Shotguns.
Yep, and we love having that click bang happen in the gun with Fiocchi ammo. So we can't thank Fiocchi enough. Great shell, we love it, and we can't thank those guys enough either. Absolutely.
You guys have seen my vest is hanging behind me here tonight. Bear Pelt, thank you guys very much. Love us some Bear Pelt. Eric and Heather and their daughter, I mean, they are just phenomenal people. We love seeing them at shoots. They are probably some of the friendliest and most outgoing people you're going to find of any of our vendors, and they're there to help. I mean, I watch people walk in their booth and try on a vest and like, well, we can do this, we can do that, and all the different designs and ideas they have. But it's not just the colors and what's written on them. It's the actual quality of the vest is next level for sure.
Yep, and Atlas Traps, Jason, we've said it time and time again. American-made Atlas Traps, fantastic product, great company to deal with. If you're ever in the market or starting to look for a trap, call Jason. He's a dealer. He can help you out and answer all your questions.
Yep, for sure. Well, if you can't get a hold of me, you can always call Atlas directly too. I tell you, another big one is Rhino Chokes. Those, again, family-owned business. We use their products on our guns. Both of our guns are ported by Rhino. We both use Rhino chokes. Sean, you had your gun even fitted by Rhino, didn't you?
That's right. Yep, they helped me out with that when they were at the SCTP shoot. So they did the gun fitment, they did the porting, and I got my chokes. I won't ever have another competition gun without Rhino porting on it.
Absolutely. And Sean, you're going to be a little shocked at this. I just saw on social media the girls at Odo Pro actually set up at the South Central Regional. So they are at the South Central as we're speaking.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they're going to be there. I hope, man, I can't wait to talk to her because I'm hoping she does this a lot more next year. Their products are awesome. The service is awesome. The customer service is second to none.
Absolutely.
So check them out for sure.
Yep. And let's face it, RE Ranger, seriously cool glasses. The React lenses, some of the best out there. I love mine. I know, Jason, you love yours as well. Fantastic people to deal with as well, and they make a great product. They can help you out with all kinds of stuff.
Absolutely. Big changes coming to White Flyer. Hopefully we'll have Robert Crow on soon to talk about that. Give us the details. Look, rumors are about as plentiful as spent shotgun shells in this sport, right? So we'll get the word from the man himself, see what's going on. I'm also very interested in seeing what that new target's all about, that new bio they're coming out with. So hopefully we'll have him on here soon.
And Vero Beach Shooting, hey, these guys right here. If you're visiting down in Florida, that's a great club to go to. I want to plug our Dead Pair Blast coming up here December 1st and 2nd. Jason, I'll be there setting targets. Should be a heck of a time. We're still working on pulling a few things together, but it's gaining steam, gaining momentum, and hopefully you guys can make it down to visit and see us.
Yeah, and thank you very much to JD's Watch Repair for sponsoring the fee task on that. Bear Pelt has sponsored the main event with some giveaways to First in Class for each one of those. And then, of course, Fiocchi Ammunition has sponsored the cocktail hour. So thank you to those people very, very much for that one. And we're looking forward to that shoot, that's for sure.
Definitely.
Don Grant, we've had her on the last couple of episodes. It's been a few episodes back, but go back and listen to them if you haven't already. The people out there and it drives me nuts. The people out there think, oh, she's wacky, she's kooky, she doesn't know, whatever. Those people have not listened to her program. They have not followed her program. If they did, they wouldn't be saying those things. There's a reason why she's relevant. There's a reason why she's part of this show. There's a reason why she's produced a lot of winning shooters. You don't know about it because they want it private.
That's right. And if you want a good testimony to that, listen to the episode where Chad talked about how it changed his life. That's powerful.
Absolutely.
Score Chaser, hey, let's face it. We have all gotten spoiled now using Score Chaser. I mean, up to date. If you got the pro level account, you get your texts and stuff the day of your tournaments, reminds you your shooting times. It's just a great, great tool in your toolbox. And Casey Chase and everybody there, thank you guys for supporting us.
Yeah, very much so. Well, Sean, I'm going to run. Unfortunately, I thought I was going to get away from looking at your ugly mug, being down here in Florida, but I guess I have to endure you again.
Too bad, buddy. Too bad. Suck it up.
I'll send you pictures from the pool here in just a minute. So
you do that. You do that. All right, brother. Well, good night.
Let us know what y'all think about this. This is new for us doing this, and we can't wait, Sean Alley,
to see y'all back here on the Dead Pair Podcast.
We'll see you next time on the Dead Pair Podcast.
The Dead Pair. The Dead Pair Podcast is brought to you by Elite Shotguns and Vero Beach Clay Shooting and is fueled by Fiocchi USA. The Dead Pair theme song was written, arranged, and produced by Toby Tomplay. Special thanks to the following sponsors: Bear Pelt, Rhino, Otopro, Dawn Grant, Atlas Trap Company, RE Ranger, and White Flyer Targets.